Welcome, and I greet you now in the light of the One Infinite Creator. I wish to pull a few cards for you and talk about the energies. These are general readings, take what feels right, spit all the rest out. All that being said, this reading is for December the 15th. Ooh. What's going on December the 15th? What do we need to know? Okay, so in the current energy, you get the Justice card, representing you doing something naughty. You know, you've done something naughty, or you're thinking, or you're going against the law here. It's always important to try and be in service to the law. You know, not to be, stealing, cheating, lying, deceiving. It's very important to always be truthful, And the Justice card represents like a you could be lying about something or something, or you're doing something that's going against that isn't helping other people around you. That's only helping yourself, type of thing. It's a very bad sign. Okay, is what I'm trying to say. Not that you don't have good signs here too. You have the Page of Cups here in your future. This card represents you being very humble, and focusing on learning. The pages are always about learning. They're like the apprentices of the deck. Okay, so they're very focused on something. So, and with it being the Page of Cups, communication, it's a good sign that you want to help others. That you want to serve others, especially in the form of communication. If you want to maybe you want to be a speaker, or maybe you want to be somebody who communicates, as a profession. Who is a good talk. You're being a good talk, having good communication skills seem to be very important to you. In the future here, why? Maybe because you've been doing some lying. With the Justice card. So, your future shows me that you want to be able to pretty up the pig. You want to, you're trying to make yourself sound like you're very positive when you really got these major inner issues. Because your Justice is a major arcana, right? So these are the most important cards to get when you get them. And they tell you about yourself, and that you're not being just and you're not being fair. You're taking advantage of the world around you, and then you're trying to pretty up you're trying to pretty up the yourself, and it's not good. You failed to find happiness in the past here with the Ten of Cups. Very bad sign on top of the Justice card reversed. This tells me that you've had a rough life. You haven't had the puppy dogs and rainbows and fucking, excuse my language, the white picket fence has never been in the cards for you, But you want it to be, But just make sure you're not prettying up the pig, Just make sure you're not, don't be selfish. Don't be ignorant of your own mistakes. And everybody makes mistakes. But it's you have a choice. What kind of path you want to be on, and getting the Page of Cups here is a good sign. That you know that you have the choice to get yourself on a better road, and to be humble and honorable, and because the Page of Cups is really about really shows me that you are a humble person, or at least you're moving towards an energy of being more humble, being more open, doing good things. But the Justice and the Ten of Cups are just really, really bad cards to get reversed. You don't want those cards, so in reverse. So this is there's two out of three are bad signs. That would be a failing grade if you were out of three. A 1 out of 3 is a failing. Like it's not 50%. You know. So I could pull more cards and I could try and see more. But I mean, like, the truth is that you got to make sure you're not just prettying up the pig. If you imagine yourself as as a pig and you're trying to put lipstick on yourself to make yourself it's just very important to be earnest, be in truth, be you're like seek things that are more positive in life. um just because you maybe just because you've been from a bad home or something, it's not an excuse to be negative. You want to focus on more positive things, is all this reading is really telling me. Just because your past has been full of unhappiness, does not mean that you can't be a better person today. And the first step towards being a better person is admitting to yourself that I've been a bad person in the past. And you might have just been a product of other people's decisions. And you have the right to make your own decisions, and the decision to be more humble, earnest, honest, to and to focus on learning, on learning how to be a better person, to be the best version of yourself. And you are God. We are all individual aspects of God, or the Creator, is the way that I like to understand the universe. We are all individual aspects of the one infinite Creator, which is an amalgamation of all of us, as one. That's God. Source is very important to be attuned to. It's very important to be attuned to the light and to positivity and to doing good things for people. So I see you heading towards that. There's just some issues that you're still dealing with from the inside, from your past, and yeah. So I wish you well. Hopefully I wasn't too hard on anyone or any of you. Namaste.